So it's going to take me more, I'm going to eat more shit than most people trying to grow it. And I knew that. That's why I just took the path I did. Good quality content and just, I doused the internet, bro. That's why you know me, because I'm trying to spray the internet like a machine gun, bro, and just cover everybody. You go on Twitter and you're a nice guy and you help people, no one gives a shit. But when you go on Twitter and you say something sarcastic and funny and you jab at somebody, they love it, bro. That's what goes crazy.
I like the branding on the shirt.
Bro, you know what's funny? I've been doing this for a long time. And when I got into trading, because 8 years, this is my 8th year. When I got into this, bro, nobody had cool offices to film from. Nobody had their brand behind them. Now I see everybody, we're all on the same page now. Everybody stepped the game up, you know? Because now with like, especially the content creation now, you have to have it like you guys do at a certain level, I think. I think yours is like a very, in the trading space, I think you have one of the highest production quality podcasts because of like the way you guys are doing the setup with the set, making me do high quality audio, high quality video. That makes a difference.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But yours is amazing as well. And I saw that you also do live events, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did. I've done 10. I've done
You've
10
done
seminars
10.
Since 2019. Yeah.
Amazing. Like how many people usually accept coming to the seminars, webinars, to the
20.
events? 20 people.
We normally do, just about 20 people. The biggest one we did was in December, a few months ago, in London. We did 25. But that was the biggest one I've ever done. But normally about 20. But I've done them for as small as 4. Like I'll do them for a small group. I don't care, bro. I just appreciate people that want to sit down with me and work with me. So I'll do it for whatever. You know, I'm not fucking Tony Robbins out here. You know?
Yeah, of course. That's amazing. Actually, it's something that I really look up to because I love actually the live experience with, you know, being with people and everything. Usually do them in your city or you go all over the US?
I have only done one outside the US. That was in London. I've done most of them here in Florida. So mostly in Miami, and I live near Tampa. I'm not in Tampa, but I'm right near Tampa.
Nice.
So it's, you know, if I'm gonna do it, bro, I really think you don't do an event to make a bunch of money. You do an event for the marketing content and for the community to bring people together. So for me, it's like, if I can break even, I'm happy. My wife does all our books. She makes sure that we actually have made money on every event. So we price our tickets as cheap as we can. And if I can host them in Tampa, that makes it cheaper. Yeah. Because I don't have to fly. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't need a hotel. But then when we do the London event, bro, I got to fly and I'm not sitting in the back of the plane. You know what I'm saying? I want a nice seat. I want a nice hotel. So I have to charge more for those tickets. So I try to keep it reasonable, bro. I want people to really, like, as a business owner, like I want people to buy into my, like, trading first. Yes. Education, business, other entrepreneurial stuff, whatever else you want to do. Like I work with a guy, Tom and I just did a podcast earlier today. Tom's literally a professional sports gambler. Like he makes money every year from gambling on sports. Yes, bro. So it's like other side hustles are good, but like I think trading first, and like for him, his other side hustle is that. For me, mine is building ASFX. And like I want people to say, oh, this guy cares more about trading than he does selling me $1,000 or $5,000 seminar ticket. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. At least right now, you know? Of course. I'm sure like your events must be crazy because I see the videos. They're lit, bro. They're lit, bro. Yeah, bro. So the best part, I'll tell you, like I could talk all day, but the best part of it is when we do the group work. I break up the group into, so I'll tell you in London, I had 25 guys. So I broke them up into like 4 or 5 teams. Yeah. I give them a team captain and I put a trade on the board. So all day we focused on the A2 strategy, this new strategy that we've been trading the last year. I wanted to ask you about it. Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about it. So I break them into groups. I put a bunch of A2 markups in a PowerPoint. I put together a couple hundred slides, big slideshow for the day. So it's unique content. So I'm not just up there rambling about random charts. Like we have a structure to go through. It's like a webinar basically, but in person. And then with the charts at that point in the day when they're in the groups, the charts are only half done. So I take the picture in the live market and then I use that in the webinar. And then I take the next slide shows if it's a win or a loss or whatever. Yeah. And then we go around group by group. They have to make a decision as a team. Do we take the trade? Do we not take the trade? So I make them keep score. And it's funny how many people will take stupid trades after spending a day explaining to them how to take good trades. Some people will still take every trade they see, no matter what. It's crazy, bro. Even some of the guys that I've been coaching, we had a couple of our Black Shirt Club members, that's our mentorship group, they were there. They came to the seminar, they paid to come, and they were team captains of our group. And even them, they're taking some of these trades where I'm looking at them, I'm like, we just spent the whole day talking about trading perfect setups. So then as we continue to go through the exercise, you start to see people be more discretionary, a little bit more critical thinking. They start to go through the checklist a little bit more. Then they start making trading decisions. And very quickly, it gets competitive in a fun way. So it becomes like this whole team building exercise where people are like, I'm in the trade, but my team captain says we shouldn't be in the trade because of this, Y, and Z. So even within the team, they're kind of beefing. It's good, bro. It's very exciting.
That's amazing. Would you say one of the things that makes traders profitable and just improve in general is actually selecting the best setups?
100%. I think, like, look at January. I literally, just before getting on here, I've been at the desk all day today. Before filming with you guys, I was filming a video for my YouTube channel, just going over my January trades. I had 6 trades. I had 6 wins. I made just about 1%. Some traders will trade twice as much as me and make no money. Some traders will trade less than me and maybe make more money. But as I'm getting more money to trade with, it becomes easier for me to trade less, trade the better setups, and just put more money behind them. And then, like, really, if you look at my trading, I should have made more money. I left a lot of money on the table, having 6 wins and only making 1%. I made the repeated mistake of trading too small, which we could talk about that and talk about trading mistakes forever. But yeah, to answer your question, I feel like the guys that I look up to that are doing really well in trading, they are selective. I know these guys that are oil traders. They only trade oil. I know these guys that trade maybe a couple of Forex pairs, but they trade 1 or 2 strategies, and they just do those really, really well. So I think that selectivity is a mandatory characteristic for winning trades.
100%. I 100% agree. And I want to connect this. It connects with your A2 strategy, because you say that you're focusing on that, and you had your, the people that came to the seminar to only focus on that. Once you start looking at one strategy, so it is called the A2 strategy, in this case, yours, that you're teaching and you're using, you're focusing on that, you're seeing only that, and then you start being selective with your trades. So you're like, okay, I have this strategy, and I will take only the best setups with this strategy. Right? Did you see the difference in the traders by the end of the day?
Dude, it's funny that you just said that, because even in my DMs today, somebody replied to what I had posted on Instagram about the trade today on SPX. They had said they're just making this connection too. But there is a difference between your strategy painting a signal versus the trade in your strategy that is your trade that you should be in. You know what I'm saying? So like my example today, the A2 entry presented short on SPX, right at 9:45, 15 minutes after the market opened. Yeah. So I see this opportunity to short it, but I look at the structure of the trade, price action. I look at 2 of the other indicators I use, and that is not my trade. Like I've traded long enough. I've lost enough money, made enough money. I know my trade. I like a breakout and a retest. I like a clean trend on a TDI, like a lot of confirmations of trend. This was not that. So when this trade works and becomes a winner, I still mark it up. I still playbook it, but that I know is not my trade. So that's what I'm saying, like this connection of like your A2 strategy or whatever your strategy is for the listener. Within that, what are you doing really well? Where is your edge? And I feel like that was foreign to a lot of guys before. We've been talking about this more and more, but it's really good. It's very important.
Of course. Would you say that it was really hard in the beginning? Because it was for me, for example, to actually being more selective with your trades, with, not having fear of missing out and all these things?
100%, bro. And I find like, not only is it difficult, especially for a new trader, to understand selectivity, but like there's a very fine line between over trading and under trading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very fine
absolutely.
line. You got to find that balance, and that is different for everybody. That's why as a coach, because I spend most of my day either coaching, trading, or filming podcasts and doing videos and shit like that. That's really, and at the gym, that's my 4 things I do. And then I spend time with family, of course, in between it. Yeah. But like, I find that in the coaching, we see some of these traders, like specifically when we track their mistakes, the mistakes are not very different. Yeah. So when you know that is not a wide variety of mistakes, we can kind of hone in on there. You find that very often traders are walking that line between over trading and under trading. And the guys that are finding the balance, they are making the most money, right?
Yes, always. I always see this thing. And it's funny because Mark in the past was a trader as well. How long did you trade? for 5
several years, I think,
several years.
6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Now you're taking more care of, real estate investments, but he was a trader as well. Yeah.
I changed my business. I was not a top trader. I was just an average trader.
But you told me that for some years you were profitable with it.
Yes, I was about 4% monthly profitable. So I saw you in a reel that you told 4 or 5% is a good achievement.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody, of course, we all got into trading wanting to make more money than what you think initially 4% is. But this is the thing you have to remember. 4% initially is, like when you say that to a new trader, that's going to be 4% of their perspective of a lot of money. That could be $100, $1,000. But if they had a bigger perspective of money, 4% of $1 million, you do all right. 4% of $100 million, you do really well. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the perspective is off for new traders when it comes to expectations, and that throws you for a loop. You know what I mean? And then you end up coming around to what me and you guys kind of preach, which is this like realistic returns.
Yes, of course. All the people that approach trading, and honestly, I was one of them as well when I started. You want to make crazy money very fast. And, in the beginning, you put $200, $500, $1,000, and you expect it to turn it into $100,000, like in 2 months, in 1 week. I don't know, it's something crazy. But then reality hits you, and you're like, okay, it doesn't work like this. And you see maybe more serious traders being like, talking about percentages, 5%, 10% in a month. And you're like, damn, I'm not going to make any money with $200 and, a 10% return. But I would say that it is way easier now that there are some prop firms and you can get capital if you are getting started and that you don't have capital to trade. Do you have any advice for the people starting out and they want to get funded and they don't know how to get to the point of, passing a funded challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. I spend a lot of time coaching traders who are trying to get funded, and I actually am now fortunate in the position to be around some traders who are trying to get their second or third funding account.
Nice.
So I kind of get to, it's a different perspective. They have a little bit more experience, but I think for a new trader who's listening to this and has never taken a challenge, first thing I would say is you want to figure out, are you going to be able to do a challenge with a time frame, or do you want the challenge without the time frame, right? Because that's a big hurdle. I work with, again, this is just from my coaching perspective. I work with these guys. Some of them have not been able to get the challenge done with the time frame of 30 days or 60 days, whatever. Put them on a challenge with no time frame. They trade amazing. They're doing well. Some of them have already passed the 10%, or some of them are 8% thresholds. So I think that the trader has to pick a challenge for them that aligns with the way that they trade. First thing. 100%. Second thing, I don't do any of these small funding challenges, bro, at all. I don't understand why you would want to only have a 50K funded account. If you can't afford the difference between a 50K and 100K, just save up. That shouldn't be that many. If you're not making that much money, trading is definitely not for you right now,
Yeah,
but if you're making any money, just, what is it, another paycheck? $50, $100, $200 more, whatever. Save up and get the bigger account, because 50K, even a payout on that, it's just not going to do it. I was just talking to my dad today, not to go off on a tangent, but you can't even live really well off $100,000 a year anymore. So what are you doing trading just a 50K account? We got to go bigger. People need to catch up, inflation and everything. We got to move, So I think you pick the right firm, you pick a decent amount of capital. I think 100K at minimum is what you should go for, because it's easy numbers. It's good money still on the payouts. So I think you go at it from that approach, and then don't take it too seriously. That's the best advice I could give. Some guys are hung up on this shit like it's the end of the world. Sorry can I curse in this? I forget.
Of course. Of course, man.
Some of these guys are hung up on this shit like it's the end of the world. And at the end of the day, I say to them, what did you do? You invested $500 for a challenge, $600, $1,000? Okay. That is all you can really lose. So don't get hung up and be afraid to trade. Apply your strategy, put good risk management on it. I don't even think, for me, in the most recent challenge that I passed, the position size on average per trade, I had 30 trades to get the first phase done. I think it was 0.25, 0.22, very small.
Yeah.
But when you win at a high rate, if you can get a high win rate strategy, which is what I think most people will do well with. I don't know many people that win 3 out of 10 trades and are crushing it. So the guys that I see doing well have high win rates. You just put that with decent, controlled risk. You can pass these challenges. And like I said, don't take it too serious. You fail, who cares? Go at it again. The opportunity is now. I kind of sound like an advertisement for the funding companies, but but it is true. It's like, this is the opportunity. Sure. Are they going to be here in 10 years? Probably. Is it going to look different? Definitely. So take advantage of the opportunity we have now,
Yes, absolutely. Would you say a lot of people get nervous with fund accounts because they're not used to certain amounts of money? Like they're never seen, $100,000 in a trading account, and they get super nervous. Would you say that you need to get used, at least in your mind, maybe meditation or something, we can talk about that as well, to get used to certain amounts of money, get used to seeing that thing?
Yeah, a great question. Good questions, bro. So the 12 weeks that I put these people through in this mentorship program, the Black Shirt Club, if they come in and they are not funded, what I have them do is trade. I make them watch the course first. That's included in the mentorship. I make them watch that. Then they trade demo for at least 2 to 3 weeks. We track all their trades, applying one of the 4 strategies I teach. And then we figure out if that's going to be the strategy that they're going to kind of focus on and use other strategies to complement it, but the focus point to then take the challenge. I like for them to have a strategy to take the challenge. So then I have these people going into the challenge after trading demo with the 100K, if that's going to be their challenge, so that they're used to the money, like you're saying. Then they go into the challenge for month 2 and month 3 of the program. That's kind of the way that we have it structured right now. So it gives us a month of practicing together, so I can see how they're trading and I can kind of guide them a little bit, and then we can kind of piece things away. But it's really about practicing as well with that 100K, so they're used to the amount of money, for sure.
Right.
And then once you're used to it, you're able to make quicker decisions about it too. You start thinking in cash and percent. It aligns really easy. So I think it becomes important to know your balance, because it is going to be a lot of money for some people, I'm sure.
Yes. And you're not afraid of it. That's really, really, really important.
You took the words out of my mouth, because then if you are not used to it, then you're going to trade naturally really small because you're afraid to lose money. You're not going to understand how to use the account properly. Like, again, 0.25% to some people that have only traded $1,000, because somebody listening to this has only traded their own money. That's going to be like, bro, 0.25%, like that's like a quarter, like whatever. They're going to be like, this is nothing. But if I'm thinking 0.25% of a million, it's way different. You know what I'm saying?
It's way different.
Way different.
Of course. Yeah. Makes the whole difference. Would you say, I mentioned meditation. Do you meditate?
I try to. I would say my practice was better in the past, but I would get 5 days in. I struggle on the weekends mostly, bro. It's part of my pre-trading routine. So I get it in during the week, but I slack on the weekends, whether I go to work out or I just stay in bed longer, and it just throws me off. I end up slacking. So I'm not perfect, but I do get my practice in most weekdays.
And do you combine meditation with visualization, of something about trading, or is it something you did in the past, or?
I have not sat down and visualized my future or visualized winning trades.
Okay.
But I think because I'm in it so much all day, every day. From after that meditation, I do 50 push-ups, and then I'm at the desk, and we're going, bro. So
Amazing.
It's like I'm in it so deep that the visualization, I've just never been that guy, to be honest. Like I'm sure some people do it. I don't have vision boards. I had one once when I was like 18 or 19, I think, and then that was it. I don't do big goals, like our business is growing year on year. I don't aim for anything other than just really hustling, doing my best every day, working hard. Like I know the difference between clocking out and not growing the business, at the pool every day at 2:00 or whatever after the work. I know that versus doing calls till 6 p.m., growing the business, double. So I know if I'm doing the right thing or not, depending on if I want to grow or not,
Amazing. Yeah, I really like this approach. It is, I would say, pretty similar. Sometimes in the past, I used to meditate a lot, visualize stuff. Now, honestly, in the last 2 years, I do it way less. And I would say
maybe people have when you're in it and you're actually doing the thing that you know will get you to the thing you used to visualize, you're like, why do I need to visualize it? I'm on the path.
Yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it on a daily basis. I'm doing it all day. Like,
this is going to get me there. You're confident in what you're doing. So it's like the big goals, bro, they're good milestones for sure. Metrics are good to track. I'm a big tracker and a data guy. I love the numbers. But like when it comes to like the visualization of like, I want to own a jet by when I'm 40. No, I would never, that's never going to be something that you're going to probably hear me say. It's just not like a goal or something that I would ever put out there. I'm just going to do my best every day. If I end up with a jet or on a jet or whatever with a jet, it'll happen if it's meant to happen. I kind of view it that way.
I completely agree with this. I love this approach. Yeah. Going on, you mentioned about your pre-trading routine. What do you do? What do you do before trading? How do you approach the markets?
I'll tell you what I want to do, but I can't get myself to do it. I want to work out before I trade. So like for your time zone, it's probably very easy to work out before you have to trade. For me, it's not as easy. So I've struggled to, and this is like conditioning from my years of trading, but I've struggled to be able to wake up, meditate here. I like to do it on the love sack, and then get up again, leave the office after I know the Discord is popping. I know everybody's talking from London. I know stuff's going on. I know I could sit down and probably come up with an idea pretty quickly. So I know I could do that. So I want to do that almost because I want to make money trading, right? So if I had a different time zone, I'd work out and then I'd trade. But now, like I said, it's literally water, meditate, push-ups, into the Discord because the Discord's already going. I've got messages to answer. I need to check up on things. I've been asleep for 7-8 hours. So like there's things to look at, it's kind of cool. Someone's listening. They're like, that's so cool. You're running an international business. Yeah, it's cool. But like, it's also tiring, for sure. So I definitely take my boat days and my beach days very seriously.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. You find when to disconnect, but I believe that I see you have like a lot of energy. I love the energy. I know that I saw your videos and you always have this energy and it's really, really inspiring. So how do you keep it? How do you keep it this way? What
I don't do anything negative, bro. You notice I never am doing anything negative. My wife and I have a great relationship. We don't fight. I don't have beef with any of my friends. I don't entertain internet beef. I don't argue with people on the internet. I don't do anything negative. So like, I think overall I attract more positive things than negative things to my life. So I just believe in that. If you put out positive, you're going to get it back. I try to just look for I think I'm only a successful entrepreneur because of that. I've turned any loss or lesson into a positive and learned from it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So like, that's the energy that I've put out into things, and it does come back to you, bro. And I think that if you believe that, then it definitely works like that. Whether you want to argue with me about that or not, that's okay.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I was sharing this the other day on my stories, and I was exactly talking about how difficult situations are going to be presented in front of you in life, and the way you see them and the way you approach them will change anything, because you can either choose the the victim mentality and say, oh, this is so unfortunate, why is this happening to me, I'm so unlucky, and all these things. Or you just say, okay, this happened, what can I learn from this, how can I get out of this situation, and how can I turn it into something better. And if you have the second approach, I believe that you can turn anything that is negative into positive. Like energy
100%.
Cannot be destroyed, you can just transform it.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, 100%. You look at the people, like the victim mentality that is going around today in every culture, not just where you guys are, but everywhere. It's everywhere. So with the direction that people are going, it's really easy to see like the characteristics that traditional success leads to. Victimhood, that doesn't get you anywhere, bro. Like you've got to get after it on your own no matter what. But if you're going to get after it, doing it the right way has always been a big... I was raised that way. Like my dad taught me to do it the morally right way. You could go and grow your brand or my brand way bigger if we just beefed. Do you know Trader Nick?
Yeah.
I just had Trader Nick on the podcast yesterday.
Really?
We sat down. Yeah, he's a good friend. We've been growing our brands at like the same time. I sat down with him yesterday, bro. I was like, yo, we should have a freaking boxing match, bro. People would go crazy about it. Like you and me should fight. And I would kick his ass. I know he knows that. But if we were to do that, bro, the internet would love that. The people love the beef. They love the drama.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like that, bro. I don't pick fights with anybody. When people talk shit to me on the internet, I ignore it, or I'll block them if they say something really like negative and cursing or something. Like I'll just block them. I don't mind blocking people at all, because again, you talk about where's the positive. Literally, bro, I'm generous on that block button. You know what I'm saying? It could be a bot, good, block it. It could be a guy that types something that kind of looks like a bot, blocked. Like you're just done. So I think that when you get after it like that, and you understand like that hustle is required, hard work is required, the traditional, BS that motivational speakers push. I think if you can just look beyond that and then continue to put out and do good work, it's really like, Gary Vee. Are you familiar with Gary Vee?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Gary always says, bro, you got to eat shit, but see the longer term vision. And that's how I've viewed growing the brand. You've got to be able to, you're not going to get as many views when you're providing education on a platform that feeds to drama and clicks and money, cars, girls, and I'm not posting any of that. So it's going to take me more, I'm going to eat more shit than most people trying to grow it. And I knew that. That's why I just took the path I did. Good quality content and I doused the internet, bro. That's why you know me, because I'm trying to spray the internet like a machine gun, bro, and just cover everybody, with good content, not with one cool, have some girls on a car with a stack of money and get your attention. But that's easy, bro. That's the easy way. The brand that I'm building, I got really good people staying with me because of the reputation that we're building, because we're doing it the right way,
And that doesn't teach anything. You just see something cool, you get attracted, you just see the whole video, and then you're like, okay, I didn't learn anything. But
people are waking up, bro. I think people are changing in the content that they want to consume, and people the way that Gary kind of pushed me to create content and learn how to be a digital presence, because he was 2015 was when I really started to grow the digital side. That's when trading started to do a little bit better for me. So he was my guide, and he was always pushing, bro, you want to do right by people, talk to your people, get testimonials, go genuine, build this genuine business, not the flashy marketing thing. I just kind of picked up on that. And I think we're going more in that direction now. I could be wrong. I think there'll always be a spot for the flashy marketing thing. But people are wising up, bro. Like you just said, people are smart now. They're like, I'm not going to fall for this stupid ad. You remember the Ty Lopez video with the Lamborghini in the
I'm on my garage.
Right, exactly. So and we all know that because it worked, but it's not working as much anymore. People are not about that,
Yeah, 100%. Bro, I'm literally right here doing the podcast because of Gary Vee. I literally saw one video of him during July, and he was saying, all these entrepreneurs are not growing because they don't reinvest in their business. They just look to make money from the business, and then they want to buy stuff for themselves. So I was like, okay, wait. Instead of I don't own any supercar and anything fancy like that, but I was like, okay, instead of using this money to buy something fancy, I don't know, a car or something like that, something else. Instead of doing that, I got the studio, I got the equipment, and we're here doing the podcast. So that was the exact thing that, brought us here. So it's really, really inspiring to talk about the same people and
to make Gary's amazing, bro. I mean, again, when you follow the right people, it can change everything for you. You become the average of who you spend the most time with, but also with the content that you consume. People don't talk about that enough. Who are you following on Instagram? What are you looking at? What are you reading on Twitter? why I'm trading so well? Because I follow a lot of things on Twitter that are only about trading SPY, SPX. So that's why I think I know much. I'm so much I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you're following the wrong things, you're going to fill your mind with the wrong things that are going to just kind of prevent you from reaching your goals. You'll be distracted. That's all. But that's what social media is built to do, bro. So at the same time, you got to always keep that in the back of the mind too.
100%. So without saying any name, but I really saw what you were talking about earlier about the drama on Instagram. I would say I saw many people in general, but I would say also some traders, and I believe almost 100% that they start some beef, and they just talked before that. They just know that people love it, and they'll
admit that. I hope that the people who do just talk shit would admit that they talk shit because that is what gets clicks. When you go on Twitter and you're a nice guy and you help people, no one gives a shit. But when you go on Twitter and you say something sarcastic and funny and you jab at somebody, they love it, bro. That's what goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's either here's tell me your favorite trade of the week or some stupid tweet like that I'm honest, it does nothing. No value. Everybody replies to it, though. It's ridiculous. Versus something of real education. Okay, just a couple favorites, just a couple views, whatever it is. Yeah. So I think it's yeah. But, I think you guys are doing a good job at, bringing on the right people, too, and that are not, always hung up in the wrong things, too. Because, some of these guys, they make money on traders trading. I don't make money on traders trading. I only make more money with my education business if people make money from my stuff. If I'm making people lose money, I get bad reviews. I don't have bad reviews on my, you know what I mean, on my Trustpilot. So that's, I think, a big tell. Just like with the funding companies, you know, you can look at some of these funding companies and you can see like this company is aligned with the traders. This company wants you to fail very clearly from their rules and some of the stuff that they put in the way. You can see which companies are aligned with traders. So you just got to pay attention. People just got to pay attention, you know.
What would you say are some details to look for a good funding company? You know, for traders that are approaching the market now, they don't know to go whether with one or the other funding company. What are some red flags that they should avoid?
It's a good question. Red flags, I would say like no payout proof for sure.
Right.
Like you want to see people getting paid out. I think if they are not like putting out content on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, they should have a content team. It's 2023. If I'm creating content and I'm running a solo business, you would think these multi-million-dollar firms can't do that. So that's a big red flag too. I think if you're a trader who traditionally doesn't like to force trades, like they doesn't like to feel pressure. If you're a person traditionally who doesn't like pressure, I would go to a firm that has the one audition phase, not the double audition phase. That one phase for most of them has no time frame. They just want you to hit a profit target. I would just say focus your energy there probably. But some of these guys, I would say like me, bro, like I feel like I learned even more about trading by taking time to funding challenges. So I wouldn't be scared of that either. And that's not a red flag or a green flag. That's just something to be aware of, you know. No, other red flags, I think if they're like, again, if they're not saying that they're putting live orders to the market. I have a firm in Florida that is pretty new. They're like a year and a half old, Surge Trader. They openly are like, this is where our money is coming from. It's a venture capital firm. This is where you're trading it. We wire the money to 8cap. That's how you trade a live account once you pass the audition. So they're very transparent about the live trades that you get once you are funded. I think that's what everybody's going to have to be doing eventually. It might take a couple of years for some of these firms to, you know, have enough competition before they have to start doing it too. But that's probably what we're going to need to know, because the big thing, right, the big hiccup with the funding companies is, are they putting the live orders through to the market?
Yeah.
You know, so I think if you find a firm that's like, yes, and this is how we are doing it, which they all should be saying that, but they're all not putting the orders to market. That's the point. So find a firm like that if you can, you know.
100%. Yeah, I agree. This is very important, you know, for all the people that are starting out. There are so many options, and, you know, they need to decide carefully, because maybe, you know, they spend money to have these accounts, and if you get the account and you trade well and you worked so hard for it, then at the end, if you're in profit, you must get the payout. So that's really important. I agree.
Yep.
Do you have any question?
I was going to say, I hate to see people like take a challenge, get to the end or something like that, pass it, and then not know that there's a certain rule that they broke by holding a trade overnight or something like that. You know what I mean? So you really got to know the firm, know the rules before you go and trade it, for sure.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, I'd like to ask, you have more than one founded account, and you suggest to have more? Do you think it's better to have more than one or just one?
I do think it's better to have more than one. I'm working on my second company now. I've been funded with my Forex funds. I'm going with Surge Trader now. They reached out to me just about 2 months ago, so they weren't even on my radar until recently. But I have been looking for a firm in the U.S. that I could feel kind of confident in, you know, since I'm living in Florida. I think that the diversification, to your question, like having two firms, it's a no-brainer. We've already seen firms go out of business, you know what I mean? So it's like, we got to have two, because no matter what marketing material they put out, you never know when someone's going to go bust. Like, look, FTX was tweeting, customer balances are fine, everything's fine, the day before they go bust. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't believe what anybody says. You just got to be smarter than them, be one step ahead. So yeah, diversify for sure. But the thing about it, it's like a different type of diversification than you have when you do like traditional investing. You could still be dumping money into an ETF or whatever else you want to do for investing or real estate, whatever. This is like, okay, now I'm diversified in investing, but now in speculation, I'm also diversified, which makes you even more, I think, sturdy, you know, overall.
Yeah. Talking about investments, sorry, do you invest in something other than trading?
I do. We normally do our investments through just traditional ETFs. That's the long-term play for me. I don't have any real estate yet. Florida's a competitive market for real estate, and I'm a big fan of renting. People will definitely not agree with me. That'll probably start more comments than most other things I've said today on the podcast. But for me, owning will have its place, you know, in my future, I'm sure. But this new building that I'm moving into in a few months, bro, it's beautiful. and I like nice hotel-like things. I love that feel. So it's gonna fit me well. Like 21st floor, really nice views. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh,
really
that's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah. So like for me,
can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah, you know you're gonna see it, bro. I said to my wife, I'm like, I'm milking these views for Instagram. I'm like, if I'm gonna flex anything, it's gonna be that, because that to me is like an experience. That's not a watch or a car or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have a Tesla. If all these other traders that get Teslas, they post about it all the time, bro. It's not that big of a deal. That car is a piece of shit, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So I think if I'm gonna flex anything, it'll be that. But my point is just like the investing into real estate for me has always been something that, because of where I'm at in Florida, and because I'm not a handyman and I'm not a landlord, I'm a trader. It's not like screaming at me to be like, yeah, bro, buy this fix and flip, and now you can't do trading or coaching. You have to go redo the baseboard. It's like, no, bro. Like, I don't know if I want to be involved in all that right now. You know?
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. The way I approach it, at least, is, same as you. I don't have time to fix things, to do all this stuff. But here in Canary Islands, I would say it's quite different than the US market. Compared to the US, first of all, I lived in Los Angeles for 3 years, so I kind of know how the housing market is.
Crazy prices in LA too, bro.
Yeah, crazy. And, here is cheaper. There are good opportunities, but the thing I do is usually I get a company, they manage the Airbnb, and they just take care of everything. They take a percentage.
Is it worth it? And yeah, so you're making some money, right? But this is where I'm like, is it worth it?
Well, let's say for under a point of view of differentiation, yeah, because I don't want to put all my money in crypto. I don't want to put all my money in ETFs. I don't want to put all my money in real estate. So I like to differentiate. Other than that, of course, if you have businesses to start, or if you have better investments, rather than putting, 100K or 200K in a house, of course, you can do other things. But for me, in this moment, I really liked the idea of getting a return around 10%, 12% per year. Here, I also got to 20% with one of the houses.
10 or 12% per year is good, especially when you just dump it off to a property management company and you're not doing anything. Like, that's sick. Yeah, I think, like, it's interesting, bro. You would think, like, real estate, like, I think in Florida especially, my perspective has changed because of how expensive things are here. And it's funny, what you made me think about is, like, even on the beaches here, they don't really like Airbnbs. Like, they say you're not supposed to, but you can find them. But I think you get in trouble if you get caught. I'm not really sure. So, like, even certain areas are not down with Airbnb here, which you would think, like I said, Florida, it's interesting that that's the case. They would make so much money. So for me, like, right now, especially, like, I guess also I haven't felt like ASFX is where I want it to be. So it's like, I'd rather dump that extra money into spending more money on ads. I feel like I could scale way more, I can't really sell more of my time. I'm pretty busy with the coaching and stuff as it is, but I can definitely put more courses out. I can definitely get more attention for seminars. I can definitely grow there more. So, like, I'm still dumping the money into the business.
Yeah, I believe that's the best investment. I mean, that's what can get you the biggest return usually. But yeah, of course.
I just wanted to add that investing in real estate is not just making a return on your money. It's also take tax advantages and taking out money from the financial system and put in a different asset. So in the real economy. So it's a lot of things all together.
Yeah. But definitely, as you mentioned, definitely depends on the place, because the market in Florida, and of course it is way different than the market in other places. So of course it might not make sense in Florida, maybe it makes sense in other places.
Dude, I thought about buying one where my wife lives, or where she's from. She lives here with me now, but she's from Central Pennsylvania, and like the houses out there are dirt cheap, bro. You can still get a nice house for a couple $100,000, and those things would rent out really well. And she has all the connections there where we would probably be able to find a renter. So like I have that as like where I would probably almost rather invest than Florida. You know what I'm saying? Because Florida is so hot. It's like even when prices go down, they don't drop very much in Florida. It's crazy, bro.
A lot of people are moving to Florida, right?
A lot of people, bro. Yeah, we moved here during COVID. Like, I got here right when COVID first started. it was empty, bro. It was weird, like living here when COVID and everybody was inside and shit. So we got to like explore with nobody around. And now I feel like it's more crowded than I've ever seen it. Not just because of the time of year right now with all the old people down here, but still it's crowded. Because we get these, like, they call them snowbirds. Have you ever heard of that?
No, actually. What is it?
It's just like the old people from the north that travel to Florida to avoid the cold. So they come down and they hang out, and they make it a little bit more crowded. You see them on the road. You see way more old people driving cars, and they drive slow as shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's funny, but like it's a true thing. So it gets more crowded, definitely this time of year. But dude, Florida's an amazing place. The climate is probably pretty similar to you guys, though, right?
Yes, I see a lot of similarities also. You mentioned people from the north here, from North Europe, all the people, from England, Sweden, they come to Canary Islands because here is hot all year round. So
yeah, it's spring. It's spring all the year long.
All year around is spring, yeah, basically.
So you guys know, like when you're living in somewhere that's so tropical, it's like, you were asking me about how you keep the positivity. That's another thing, bro. I love Florida. It's sunny all the time. You can't be that mad about anything here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's that tropical vibe too that everybody likes around here. That's why I'm sure you guys know the same thing.
Yeah, sun makes the difference.
Sun makes the difference, for sure. I see my family up in New Jersey, and they're pale, and like when the light hits them, it's like reflecting. I need my sunglasses because they're like so pale. I'm like, you guys got to get, I don't know why it took how long for it, like me to figure out, move to Florida. For them, they still haven't figured it out. It's crazy.
Yeah. You're originally from New Jersey.
Yep, originally from up north. So I lived in Jersey for most of my life, and then a little bit of time in Pennsylvania, and then down to Florida. We were originally going to go to South Carolina, and then we ended up in Florida. Just because during COVID, bro, the deals were crazy. I was getting like dirt cheap rent, a month free, all this other stuff. So we were like, yeah, screw it. We'll go all the way to Florida. If we're going to go south, why stop in South Carolina? Just go all the way, And
absolutely.
I'm glad we did. The taxes here, and then the policies during bro, like our governor was really great. Yeah. We had no problems. Like everything was almost normal. So I
heard about that. I heard about it. It was great. And honestly, I moved to Canary Islands 2 years ago, and this was as well one of the reasons why. Because here everything was, way more chill. Like not many restrictions, not much crazy stuff. So
I just don't like the government telling everybody what to do. Nobody needs to tell anybody what to do. We're all human beings. You can do whatever you want to an extent. I don't like the argument. Some people in America, they say it's your right, or like it's your social duty, they say, something like that, to get vaccinated because we all have to get and all this other stuff. And I said, no, it's actually just my responsibility to take care of myself. We can all be social together, but that doesn't mean I have to get these things that are not tested, brand new, all this other stuff, And like, I've just felt very strongly for a long time that free thinking is the way to go. Question everything. I'm into history. I'm into all this. Question everything. If they don't like it when you question it, question them harder. Because if they can't back it up, there's something wrong. We shouldn't be listening to them anyway. Same thing in trading, like with the back testing and the data that I've done to build my strategies. It's this question it till it's perfect, like that constant curiosity, I think, has helped me a lot. So over time, I've learned free thinking is what gets you outside the box, outside the matrix, whatever
in everything.
In everything, bro. So you've got to question everything. You've got to be free thinking. And I think independence, as humans, we do well as social beings when we're not being told what to do too much. Most people, if you ask them, at least who I'm around, just want a little bit less being told what to do by the government, more freedom to do whatever they want to do. And that's why, like, in Florida, we have some crazy rules, bro, because people can do whatever they want. But it's cool. I kind of like it because it's American,
It's American, yeah.
It's American.
Yeah, amazing. No, yeah, I loved it because I saw as well, many YouTubers, many entrepreneurs moving to Florida, both because of taxes, of course, but, also during restrictions were different. And it was just amazing because
there was no
you don't want to be,
bro.
Right. You don't want to be told what to do with yourself, with your body. And I absolutely agree with everything you said. Yeah.
And you know what? They paint the people like me, bro. And they'll be like, you guys in Florida, you just don't care if there are dead bodies in the street. Yeah. All us people in Florida, if we actually saw a bunch of people dying, we would have been still like, nah, it's not happening. Nah. Do they think we're stupid? Like, we might be stupid, but we're not that stupid is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I think people have logical reasoning, and if at some point they say, you know what, this is really serious, we should be listening to the people maybe. But if they're allowed to question it and then get shut down for questioning it, flags, bro. Just they're asking me to throw flags and raise an eyebrow. So then in that point, I'd rather not try to. I don't like trying to change the government or change policies. Like I don't think I would ever run for office. Just leave me alone. Like I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go somewhere where I can be laying low, making my money, doing my thing. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if there is a way to change it. So I completely agree, and I married the same concept basically. I just go on my own, make my decisions, live my life, try to do the best for me and for others. So yeah, it's great.
Yep. I don't like when they want everybody to be. I mean, maybe I hope it's different in other places, but in America, bro, people like right now don't. There's a lot of hatred. They don't agree on things, and I don't like it like that. You know, I think hopefully everybody would agree. We don't need that. We don't need more hate. You know what I'm saying? We should be trying to get along, trying to move forward. Instead, we're like going sideways. It's like a consolidating market, bro. Nobody needs that. You know, we need a trend. We need an uptrend. You know what I'm saying? So
Bullish.
but you know what, bro? Even with all the shit, I'm bullish on America. You know, I'm bullish on humans. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it too much because, like, you know, you can't be too, pessimistic, bro. We gotta have kids. We gotta keep growing. We gotta keep pushing the humanity forward. We can't be too negative. You know, we'll figure it out.
We just need to be more united. More united. Not, we can't be not united because of, age, because of gender, because of color. We cannot. We need to be united. There's no all these people. The government is trying to make all the people fight against each other because of many different reasons, because of many different opinions. But at the end of the day, you can also not agree with someone but still be united at the end of the day.
Bro, back in the day, you used to have parents, at least in America, we'd have parents, the dad could be a Republican, the mom could be a Democrat, and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Now, Republicans won't even talk to Democrats, bro. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's changed in 30 years. It's changed. What was the reason you left Los Angeles?
Well, I was there actually when I was younger. I was there for high school. And at a certain point, I just decided I didn't want to continue with university over there, and I came back to Europe. But yeah, in that time, it was from 2014 to 2017 almost. At that time, it was great. I really loved it. But I heard that after that, it kind of went downhill.
Bro, I was going to say, I was just thinking to myself the other day, I was like, when was the last time I really thought the music was good and everything? It was like 2016, 2017, bro. You got out of LA right at the peak, bro. I think you got out.
Yeah, it was at the best. Yeah, for sure. Going back 1 second, I wanted to go back to one thing that we were talking about earlier, about kind of the drama on social media and everything. I want to connect with the argument of, all smart money concepts, all these things. How do you describe all these people fighting on social medias, saying, all the smart money traders are like, indicators and retail concepts don't work. And then other people saying, if you use smart money trader, you are a scammer and all these things. At the end of the day, what I believe is that you just need to find your concepts. You can put things together. You can use indicators with smart money concepts. You can do things, but at the end of the day, you just need to backtest and find something that works. You just need to have statistics. So that's my opinion, but I see a lot of drama of people that maybe post a chart with indicators and there are some comments under it and they're like, look at this person, look at this dummy. He's not even using smart money concepts. And I'm like, what are these people talking about?
Yeah, I see it too, bro. I was, I can give them one piece of advice. Instead of entertaining all the BS that they go back and forth with, every tweet that they send, whoever it is, whatever side, both sides, every person, you should just be spending that time studying. So stop tweeting. Just do more work. I think a lot of people spend too much time on Twitter. It's very addicting. You have to close it down, get off your phone, get off the app. It's very addictive.
Yeah.
Just spend more time focusing on yourself. You don't have to convince anybody about making money. Just make money. If you make money, why are you trying to convince someone of what they're doing is wrong? There's no reason for you to care how they are doing it if you are doing well. So everyone that is arguing, I don't argue with them because I know they're not doing that well.
Yeah, 100%. I see it because, it's full of Instagram or social media of these comments, of these things. But I really believe that, I've actually seen more traders being profitable with not using smart money concepts actually of the traders that I take.
That's new to me, bro. Like smart money concepts that guy, whoever, I don't even know anything about it. I've never seen it. I couldn't describe it to you. I just see SMC or whatever. That is not something I ever heard 5 years ago.
Right.
No. So like that is not something that is like this back tested or whatever they want, or like this isn't something that is like it's not like a chart it's just a new form of looking at charts. So it's cool.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you talk to some investors, they'll be like, I'm from the William O'Neill School of Investing, and this is how I trade. Bill O'Neill is a very famous investor. Some people will say the same thing about Buffett or whatever. I do the Bill Ackman. People are like, I take the Ackman approach. They'll credit these people. Okay, like call it whatever you want to call it. You could say we have that with ASFX. It doesn't really matter. Like you said, people are going to combine, modify. The big thing, like you said as well, is that they back test it. I'm a very big believer that most people will not back test enough and trade a back tested strategy enough to actually be consistent. They'll switch, they'll change the rules, and I know this for a fact because I'm coaching traders all the time. New traders, middle of the ground, 1 to 3 year traders, and I'm working with people that have been trading for 6 years and still not making money. And the people that have been trading for 6 years that are still not making money, you could guess, but they are the hardest to coach sometimes. They want to tweak things. They want to modify things. You could give them the winning strategy that has been back tested over 50,000 trades, and they will still tweak something. It's crazy, bro.
I usually say this about this situation. I call it the valley of desperation. Where people start, already. Where people start, from the starting point, they get really excited about a new concept. They start from it. They think it's the holy grail of trading or of something in general, and they start using it. Then after a week or a month, they see that it's not automatic that you make money right away. It's not the holy grail. You need to put the work in and everything. And they're like, okay, valley of desperation. They're like, damn, this is hard. This is not working.
Trading's a scam. Nothing works.
Right. I need to change. I need to change strategy. I need to try something else. And they try something else, and they never get after the valley of desperation because they start back from the first point, and then the same pattern happens, and they never practice long enough to get after it and actually keep growing.
This is not only with trading.
It's not only with trading. It's business, anything. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Everybody gets into trading with a different foot first. Like I got in through IML. That was what introduced me to Forex trading. I was in IML for a while. This is like I said 7-ish years ago. So this is way back when they were much more popular in America. They're not anymore. And the door into trading sometimes is not going to be the best taste in your mouth. But it is an important one because it'll test to see if you're passionate about trading or not. Do you actually like it, or are you just looking for a quick get-rich-quick thing? Hopefully, you'll realize if you actually are passionate or if you're looking for the get-rich-quick, and then you can leave and save yourself losses. But some people, will still be passionate about it and push through and end up using that first taste as like kind of like motivation, So whether it was IML or whoever, you can still say like that is where I got my start. So, to your point before about the other concepts about trading and everything, I'm glad that more people are trading. I think it is going to be a good, it's a net positive overall. I'm glad that people can learn how to make money from anywhere in the world with a Wi-Fi connection. And if they can do that consistently, listen, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, but not all of that time was successful. The first 2 years were a struggle. I lost over $40,000, like a lot of money. If you can figure it out, from somebody like who has figured it out, as much as I'd like to, I'm doing pretty well. Of course, more to grow. I'm not a master, but I would say good for you. Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. But that if I tweeted that, bro, nobody would beef with me if I said that. If I was like, hey man, good job, they'd be like, bro, fuck you for saying good job. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Twitter would say, bro.
What is your approach to Twitter? You just tweet out whatever you're thinking, or
I like to try to stir the pot sometimes, especially with my political stuff, because I think it's pisses people off sometimes. But it's so funny. It's like, it's a tweet, bro. Like, relax. I'll delete it and your day will go on. You won't even remember. So for you to take the time to write me a 4-sentence negative reply, it's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Your day must be terrible. Like, you must be having the worst day ever. So I like to get people going sometimes like that. But then I do tweet some trading nuggets that sometimes I try to think like, what would I tell myself today from trading if I was just starting out? Like, what would be the lesson from today? And I do a daily report card every day. So I post that a lot. I do share a lot of my like clips from my podcast and stuff. So I sprinkle everything in there. But you got to get like, I'll put up a podcast video, bro, where I have this guy come. This guy's a part-time trader. now consistently profitable. He's come to a seminar that I hosted and a retreat. We did a 3-day retreat together, 4-day retreat. He was there with that. In the podcast, he's saying so many nice things about me. So I say to my video editor, I'm like, bro, cut this up. This is good clips. Put this up. You know, it gets like no views, bro. Like no one gives a fuck that this guy is saying how much ASX has helped him.
If you were arguing with him, that would go viral. Oh my
God. If he was calling me a fucking little money-hungry Jew boy with a beard, everybody would have fucking lost their mind, bro. They would have loved it. But no. So it's just like Twitter, but that's where go back to what I said earlier, right? Pick the map. I picked my route. I'm going by the morals. I'm not beefing with people. So I'm going to be cool with not getting a ton of views on that shit. But you know it was posted. I could see you saw it now on Twitter with the views. So people are seeing it, but they're just choosing not to interact with it. So whether they watch the whole thing or just a couple of seconds, they're seeing the consistency from me. And a lot of people will come and take our mentorship program because they go. I see you're transparent. I see you're consistent. You got something that I can learn from, I'm sure. And they're right.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Going back to Twitter, what do you think about Elon Musk and about the job that he is doing for the free speech? What do you think about?
It's a good question. I'm all about it. I think that the more we are allowed to, and it's a tricky thing, right? Because with free speech, are you going to allow me to say, I'm going to go kill blah, 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 like the most dramatic thing ever? Well, in theory, for free speech, we'd have to say, yes, everything is allowed and it's up to the audience to discern it. I understand why Twitter is a great way for him to flex and show that he has influence, power, and then it's a great place for free speech. If like, for example, if he would have tried to do it with Facebook, it wouldn't have worked. It's the right platform for that message to be sent. But at the end of the day, all of us, I think, don't support free speech as much as we probably think we do. Because when you have a kid, maybe you guys do or not, I have one on the way, you don't want your kid going on certain
congratulations.
things. Thank you. You don't want your kid going and seeing certain sentences. Like, I don't need him to see that or like early on in his life. It'll stick in his brain maybe, and then that's screwed up. That's fucked. You know what I'm saying? So I do, in a way, think censorship is appropriate, but I think it's when it's done correctly, everyone agrees on it. You have 99 to 98%, everyone agrees on it. You know what I mean? Like, I would bet if you polled 100 people, hope so, 98% of them would be like, no child pornography, child sex trafficking, none of that on Twitter. No. Everyone would vote no, you would think, for that. Most people.
Yes.
So we can all censor that then. We all agree, majority agrees. So that's where I think like polling and getting the consensus is a proponent or a factor, whatever you want to call it, of free speech. So I support that a lot. I like debate. And again, go back to what I was saying earlier about question everything. I'm going to question you. If you can prove me why your point is what you say it is and why we should go that route, I'm never going to be like,
great.
No, that doesn't make sense. Even if it's backed by, I'm never going to do it. We're going to all be like, yes, exactly. Great. You backed that up. Let's go. Let's try it. If we fail, at least we made sense of the decision. So it's like polling. I'm big on that. I'm big on the debate. So I think Twitter is going to be a good place to have that. The spaces are really cool, and it's a great resource for news. So everything like about Twitter since he's taken over definitely has not gone backward for me. And look at what he did. He cut a half or 3/4 of the staff, cutting costs. This is going to be $1 trillion company. That's what people are saying. It's going to be $1 trillion company eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about politically correct? Is there a bias on the...
in the US, it's crazy because here in Europe, usually what I've seen also by living in the US is that, a silly example. I went to the US and, all the people in 2014 were using Snapchat, and in Europe, in Italy, where I'm from, nobody was using it. And after 1 year, 2 years, everyone was using it. So everything comes after. And I will say that, in the US, politically correct is a big thing. And in Europe, we kind of, jump on the trend. So how do you see that? It's just kind of crazy to me sometimes. Of course, as you said, free speech, but at the same time, censorship on the correct things is for sure correct. But things are getting out of hand sometimes, I believe.
I mean, like, now you can't say everything you want to say on certain platforms because of the fear that they might not agree with what your political views are. So people like me that are smart enough to be funny with certain things we could say, I would say like Andrew Tate in a way.
Yeah.
You could get me really quick on something that I'm saying as a joke that anyone that knows me would say, I said it sarcastic as a joke. They'll get you on that. So you can't even go and say it unless you're a comedian. The comedians are the only ones that get away with saying anything, and that's why they're so popular, because they can say the things that majority of us actually feel and agree with.
Yes.
So political correctness has censored people to the point where, like I said, they actually are not even thinking, just instantly knowing with like it's instinctual, it's subconscious that they're knowing what to say and what not to say. And I think now more than ever, it's like very clear how people are like bought. Like the celebrities and the influencers that people look up to are often bought and paid for by the people who you really shouldn't be trusting. You know, money talks, bro. Money talks for everything. So you always just follow the money. You're going to figure out what's actually going on. You know, that's what I really believe. So the people who want you to be the most politically correct, what are they concerned with losing? What type of control or power do they not want to have when we have free speech and free discussion, right? If they're so confident in their ability, like I said about a successful trader, you could talk shit to him. He's not going to care. He's not even going to entertain it because it's not going to impact his P&L. So I think like if you're confident in your political ideas, why not have debate about them? Prove them to be right, you know? We've lost that, bro. That went way out the window in like 2017 with the peak of music and everything else, bro. There's no more discourse of like, hey man, like you said, I disagree with you respectfully though. Think about it from this way. Let's talk about it like this. Here's my points on my side. Here's why I feel this way. And guess what? You could be like, I disagree with you. And we could just be like, cool, we both disagree. And then that's it. We could shake hands and move on. Like, not anymore. Oh, I disagree with you? Now, I actually disagree with you on every other point you've ever made in your history of your life. We disagree on everything, so I hate you. That's what's happening, bro. People just flip. So I think, and maybe, now that we're talking about it, maybe it's a byproduct of like people not knowing how to communicate. People not knowing how to talk and interact with other humans. Call it because of in the lockdowns and everything, whatever. I feel like people don't know how to handle each other anymore. We treat each other like we're disposable items. You know, nobody actually treats each other with respect anymore. It's more rare, I should say, than you used to find, you know?
Absolutely. Sorry, I want to connect, since you mentioned about, communicating and everything. I believe, I don't want to go too much personal, but I believe that communication is, very important also in relationships. In the beginning, you say that, you also have a lot of energy because you avoid the drama in your relationship. You don't argue much and everything. What is one advice, for people that are in relationships in order to, to communicate well and to keep just the mood very, very good?
It's a good question. My wife and I had been together for a while. And when we got together, we both read the book, The 5 Love Languages. We took a test to see what our love languages were. We started to talk about how we like to be loved, how we felt love, versus how do we normally show love to people. And then when you start to understand love, because it's just not a concept that people discuss, then you can start to understand how to be a good partner. And my wife and I agreed a lot on other things like politically and everything like that. We were very much aligned, always free thinkers, always kind of outside the box, not loving authority. And then when she met me, she always knew she wanted to have her own business. So she saw opportunity in me to help me take this thing to the next level, which is what she did. So she helped a lot with our marketing. She does all of our books. She does a lot for the business. And she did more back when we first started, for sure. Yeah. So like that brought us together. That in a business situation, you really have to learn responsibilities. So I think another reason we do well together is because we both know our roles. And now that we're having a kid and we're getting older, we're understanding our roles even more. Like I'm definitely the more traditional guy. She is more the traditional wife. You know what I'm saying? In every sense of that. Of so like, and I think that there's a reason it is traditional. It's worked for a long time, longer than our woke ideas now that every girl needs to be a boss bitch, which my wife will tell you openly. She used to feel that way and had to work through that masculinity that society tried to pull out of her, because women I don't think are meant to be that masculine.
It's just reprogramming. It's just reprogramming from all the media, from all the influencers. 100%.
Exactly. So we communicate, and we're both very honest people. We just really like, both of us have this tattoo, respect, honor. Like nice. She wrote this. It just, for us, it's really everything. If you respect each other, you're honest. We can disagree on anything. Her and I will literally laugh at each other when she thinks something and I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can think that, but without facts, I'm not going to just fully believe you. And then she'll like, she used to get pissed about it when we first got together 5 years ago. Now she's cool. She's like, oh, that's it. That we just agree to disagree in all of that, And I think you don't, again, to my funding challenge point, don't take it too seriously. Like we have a great relationship because we don't like have super big expectations. I think Warren Buffett said that the key to marriage is low expectations. Don't expect the other person to take care of you. Treat her or him the way you want to be treated. You'll get that respect back. If they don't give you that respect back, you got the wrong person. A lot of people are with the wrong person, which is why the divorce stats are so high,
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm for sure going to read that book that you mentioned. Is it the 5 love?
The 5 love languages, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I'll order it right away.
Or I mean, it's that on it, like that in itself was like a great place, I feel like, for me and her to start, because I learned how she would feel love the most. And then when you can tell when she needs to feel love, you can know, okay, how is she going to feel it the best? I don't have to guess. It's not a game. You know, I know what she wants, and I can just show a variation of that. One of the love languages for my wife is acts of service. My wife doesn't like gifts, so she scored very low in the gifts test part of the score. But acts of service and quality time. She wants to just spend time with me not on my phone, me not playing Xbox or doing calls, me hanging out with her at the park. She feels a lot of love like that. How the fuck would I know that if we didn't take the test, bro? Like, I'm a guy. I would never be like, let me take you to the park to make your love tank go up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Love is a foreign concept, just like trading. Mm-hmm. Read a fucking book, boys. Don't just try to guess
Study.
your way through relationships. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, this is very good advice, and I'm for sure going to read it. Like, after this call, I'm ordering this because, you know.
Have you ever read The Four Agreements?
No. What is that?
That's another good one. So that one's shorter. I make all of my guys that I coach read that book. It's
Really?
by Don Miguel Ruiz. Yep, it's The Four Agreements. It's really easy to read, and it's just four rules that you can apply to your life, personally, professionally, in trading, in every sense of it. So let me give you an example. One of the rules is be impeccable with your word, which means when you say something, you mean it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say something, but their actions show different. So if you're going to say something, you need to be impeccable with your word and hold yourself to a standard of, I think what that would be like excellence, because most people are not. So that would be one like really good, I think, life skill that people can apply. Another one of the four agreements, I haven't read it in a while. Let me think. I think one of them is like no attachment to things, like non-attachment. So in trading, we have to learn to let go of losses. It's probably one of the biggest hurdles that traders have to learn to accept. Like, you could do everything right and still lose money in trading.
If you chase losses after, you end up losing even more.
Right. Yeah. So you have to get good at taking losses. So, like I said, just check out the four agreements. I don't want to give you too much of it because
I'll check it out for sure.
Just trust me that it's worth the read, and you'll be better off with it. Everybody is. It's a very popular book.
That's amazing. Yeah, for sure read it, and I believe that everyone watching is going to benefit for sure. I wanted to connect quickly. You said a lot of people, they say some things and then their actions don't match. I wanted to connect to this just to make a quick parenthesis because, I believe this is really connected to, the scale of values and goals that you have. Because maybe you have big goals, but then your values are not aligned. So you have the goal of making a lot of money and growing your business, being a good trader and everything, but your values are that everything comes before that. Partying comes before that. Everything else comes before actually working on yourself, working on your business, working on becoming a better trader. So I believe that people need to align their values with their goals, and this is why a lot of people talk. I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that, but then they don't do shit basically.
Even more now with the way social media is, where it's like constantly painting someone else's like perfect life in front of you. It dangles the carrot on the stick even more in front of you, Yes, absolutely. Well, Austin Silver FX here in the podcast. It was great with the glasses, with the shades. It was great. Thank you for connecting. I'm really glad. Maybe we do another one in the future. That would be amazing, I believe.
Are you coming to the Canary Islands?
I would love to. When I do, I will let you boys know for sure. But I would love to come back on. Maybe we'll do one, midway through the year, something like that.
Yes. Okay. That would be
so
amazing.
You can bring your positive energy here. We have a lot, but it's never enough.
I appreciate you guys having me on as one of the big episodes here. You guys are doing some really cool stuff with the podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys grow.